Okay, Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you Akim out there that push this word in truth and in sincerity. This is going to be a lesson getting into and going into the Bohemian Grove and how we at the end, we're at the last 2 weeks of July, and we all know that from July 15th to the 31st, these Edomites and these world leaders get together in Sonoma County, California, at a private campground called the Bohemian Grove. And I have a bunch of pictures here that I would like to share with you, Akim, but I'm not gonna, because some of them are YouTube videos. So I'm not gonna go on YouTube, even though this is being revealed, it's been exposed, and it's on YouTube. We not Esau get down. So I'm just going to show pictures. I'm going to be very selective in what I say and what pictures that I bring out, because I don't want them to flag this channel, nor do I want them to give me a copyright. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. We know that these devils, they start with the Bohemian Grove, then they go to the cremation of care. For the last 2 weeks of July is real freaky for these top international bankers and they stool pigeons. Now, in this picture here, when you look at it, is a picture of Ronald Reagan, who became the president from 1980 to 1980, to 1989, from 1981 to 89, if I'm not mistaken. Or from 1980 to 1988. I think it's from 1980 to 1988. But before him, prior to this devil getting into office, this guy right here, which is Richard Nixon, who took us off the gold standard, where he was given orders to do so by the international bankers. He became the president, in the 70s. So then you have this other rich mummy standing up, who I don't recognize, and another rich mummy sitting down, who I can't see his face. But on the right, you see that is a 45 foot or 40-foot statue of Moloch, and they worship this demon, this false deity. And this goes back to the ancient Amorites and the ancient Canaanites. They worship this deity, showing you that there's nothing new under the sun, that the same deities and the same demons that was being worshipped in the ancient world, these rulers of today, which is Esau, started with Esau, the so-called white man, they doing this, they worshiping the same deities for that same power. And now they discussing the world's affairs. And I guarantee you, the CBDC is on the list. The war in Ukraine is on the list. The situation was going on with China and Taiwan is on the list. The situation with Iran, North Korea, all these things, different dilemmas that Esau would like to address is on their list. But the main two agendas is that CBDC and this war with Ukraine, in my opinion. But they're also going into how they might be going into how they're going to bring out unleash these different pestilence, which is diseases, to control the populace. See, we are not ignorant of Satan's devices. 2 Corinthians 2:11. These devils have an agenda. And it's been exposed, man. These devils have been exposed. The Akim that's in the know, this is old to them. I'm not bringing out nothing new. I'm just showing you, I'm just bringing out how these devils at the middle of July, which is the 15th to the 31st, they do their freakish ceremonies and rituals and sacrifices in the Bohemian Grove. This is Psalm chapter 64, verse 2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, Who's the insurrection? Who's the insurrection of the workers of iniquity? Started with Esau, the so-called white man, and the rest of the nations that's followed behind them at the behest of the international bankers. Started with the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, the Gettys, the same crew of devils that rule this world. It says, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Because they come to you with like a forked tongue. In one side of their mouth, they're telling you they benefiting the people. Take this, take that, it's going to benefit you. Meanwhile, do proper research. That shit is detrimental to your health. I'm not going to bring out all you Akib out there know what I'm talking about. And now they're trying to bring in a total system that's a system that's going to be having total control of your resources, how you move and what you purchase, which is that CBDC, that central bank digital currency. They fighting tooth and nail to combat what's going on with the BRICS nations. BRICS being Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and over 40 other countries, such as Jamaica, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, and just to name a few countries that put in the application to join the BRICS nations. They forsaken the dollar. In my opinion, Macron, which is the president of France, went to do business and make business deals with China. All of a sudden, is uproars of the people in France over some Nigerian student, 17-year-old student, getting shot down by police. The rabbit hole goes deeper than that. It's much more sinister. They put Macron back in place for going over there trying to do business deals behind the international bankers' back. And when you go 5 months or 6 months down the road, Turkey and Syria had a major catastrophe. It was an earthquake. Why? Because Turkey was blocking Sweden, and I think it's Switzerland as well, from joining NATO. Next thing you know, they have a devastating earthquake that kills thousands, going into the 60 and 70,000s. 70,000, almost 70,000 people got deleted or put to death by something called the High Active Oral Resource Program, or HARP. Even though Esau, if he did do it, but even which way, it was the Most High had his hand in that, because the Lord deals with both sides. So back to the scriptures, it says, who wet their, this is back in Psalm 64, verse 3, who wet their tongues like a sword and bend their arrows to shoot their arrows, to bend their bows to shoot their, let me read it again, kind of reading fast. Who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Who is the perfect? The Israelites. Started with the elect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. Yeah. They encourage themselves in an evil matter by passing these unjust laws, these unrighteous decrees, pursuant to Isaiah 10 and 1. By pushing these pestilence, these different serpent serums, these serpent juices, and the witch's brew, serum. That's how they encourage themselves in an evil matter. It says, they commune of laying snares privately, that they may and say it's like they commune of laying snares privately. What's a snare? A trap. They say, who shall see them? The Lord sees you. It says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. That's these devils. That's why it says, thou art wiser than Daniel. These devils are wiser than Daniel. They search out iniquities like they searching for hid treasures. It says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thoughts and of every one of them, and the heart is deep, but Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So shall they make their own tongues to fall upon themselves. And that's why you see these different books being written on the Bohemian Grove, and so many videos that has been put on YouTube and other channels such as Rumble and Odyssey exposing what these devils do every year. It says, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. Because we see the wickedness that this devil is pushing, man. We see the wickedness of this devil. And when you go into, and when you further go deep, when you go to Psalms, the 83rd chapter, it gives you the enemies of the Lord as well as the enemies of you Israelites, you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They mean you no good, man. Their whole purpose is to get back their birthright, which they lost, where they were supplanted out of it. In all actuality, they sold their birthright. They traded their birthright for some raw meat, uncooked food. So they should be mad at themselves. But that's another lesson for another lesson for a different time. We focusing on how these devils are secretly getting together for the detriment of not only the Israelite but for the whole world. They want to enslave the whole world because that's their goal. If you're not in their circle, if you're not a part of their banking dynasty from whichever family, then that's a two-time loser. If you an Edomite and you poor, you a two-time loser. Because guess what? When they get taken out of their the rulership and slapped in slavery, if you an Edomite, you're gonna be right along with them in the fields, getting your ass busted, your back whipped, getting a boot turned sideways and jammed right up your goddamn red ass. This is Psalms, the 83rd chapter, and we're gonna start the first verse. It says, Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and against, it says, and consult against thy hidden ones, which are the Israelites. Started with the elect. It says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Now, you gotta take this in consideration. The land of Israel is still in remembrance, meaning the land of Israel is still being inhabited, but it's being inhabited by them gutter rats. What they mean by the name of Israel will be no more, that you Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans do not come to realization that y'all are the people, that y'all are the biblical Israelites. From your prospective tribes, on down from Judah on down to Issachar. That's what they're trying to do. Keep you from your nationality. But guess what? The Lord has a great awakening happening. The Lord has a great awakening happening pursuant to Ezekiel the 37th chapter. And these devils are scared. That's why they're consulting in secret to get rid of the Lord's elect and the rest of the Israelites. 2/3 of Israel, they got them in the bag. They got them in the pocket. They know they're not a threat to Israel. They're not a threat to the establishment of the international bankers. When you see Jake showing all 32 teeth in his mouth, he's not a threat. When you got a serious-looking Jake, a serious-minded Jake that's not smiling, that looks serious, then Esau was like, whoa, I got to watch this guy. He's not smiling. He's not showing his teeth. He's not being a buffoon. He's not being a clown. I got to watch this guy. I've never seen him smile. Every time I see him, he's serious. That's why these devils are afraid. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent. And they look at this. the Bohemian Grove, the Bilderberg Group. But right now we focusing on the Bohemian Grove. It says, for they consult together with one consent, they are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, and the list go on and on and on. But the first three that's mentioned, the number one, Esau, Edom, then the Ishmaelites, then Moab, because Moab is in bed hard with Esau, Edom. They in bed hard with Esau, Edom, in their endeavors, man. So now you know who are the enemies of the Lord and the enemies of the Israelites. It says, let me see. I just wanted to bring out who are the Lord's enemies, who are the enemies of Israel. Now I'm going to go to another precept. This is Psalms chapter 143. And we're going to start at 9. Deliver me, O Lord Yahweh, from my enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. Which precept come to mind? Psalms the 91st chapter. The first verse on down. Being under the shadow of the Most High, under the shadow of the, being under the wings of the Most High, roughly paraphrasing it. It says, matter of fact, let me get that. Let me just go. Let me get this. I just butchered it. I want to get it correctly. Psalms the 91st chapter. Just give me a couple seconds, Akim. It says, this is Psalms chapter 91, and it reads, it says, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. What's the secret place of the Most High? That's truth. Truly understanding and knowing who the Lord Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shah is. Knowing that he deals with both sides, and he gets angry, and you could please him as well, but if you displease him, the Lord he'll bring forth wrath, but he's merciful at the same time. We know these things, so that comforts us. It says, I will say to the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in him will I trust. Surely he shall deliver me, shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler. A snare is a trap, and the fowler is a bird catcher. Who's the fowler? Esau. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Does he entrap you in and snare you with his different philosophies he pushed, and these different legislations that he's out there pushing, and these different things that he's doing to entrap you. So that's what he's doing. It says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence, which are these diseases that these devils are unleashing. But guess what? You got to understand something. The Lord deals with both sides. So even though Esau is behind these lab-created diseases, the Lord is allowing that to happen. And you better believe these devils are contemplating an even more sinister agenda in the Bohemian Grove. And this is the first day. If I'm not mistaken, either the 14th or the 15th, but I believe it's the 15th to the 31st of July. So this is the first day of them gathering themselves together and getting over there to do their freakish rituals and their sacrifices and their Moish games that they play. So read, it says, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrows that fly by day, which are the nuclear missiles, nor from the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday, which are the nuclear missiles. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come near thee. Only with thy eyes shalt thou see It's like only with thy eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. And who is the wicked? Esau and Edom, and 2/3 of you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans that follow behind this devil. So back in Psalms 143 verse 9, deliver me, O Lord, from mine enemies. Who now you know who the enemies of the Lord and the enemies of Israel are, which is when you go to Psalms the 83rd chapter, the first verse on down gives you a list of who the Lord and who the Israelite enemies. All these nations hate our guts. All these nations had their hand in afflicting the sons of Israel. All these nations have had us in slavery. And that's why they're all going to pay. It says, teach me to do thy will, for thou art my power. Thy spirit is good. Lead me to the land of uprightness. Quicken me. Make me alive with this spirit, with the spirit of truth. O Lord, says, quicken me, O Lord Yahweh, for thy name's sakes, for thy righteousness' sakes. Bring my soul out of trouble and of mercy. It says, and of thy mercies cut off mine enemies and destroy all them that afflict my soul, for I am thy servant. And these devils, at this ritualistic ceremony that they're about to perform for 14 days, all these rich mummies, all these puppets of the international bankers, they're getting together to do what's real vicious, like to victimize not only the Israelites, but the whole world, and inflict them and enslave them with a digital bondage. None is digital. Economic bondage. And that's what it's all about to these devils, man. Let's look at some of these pictures. Like I said, I'm not going to really click onto any of them because some of them are YouTube videos and I don't want them to flag or give me a copyright infringement. So we're going to look at some of them. Like I said, you have Tricky Dicky, aka this dude who took us up to gold standards, Richard Nixon. Then you got Red Robin, aka Ronald Reagan, the actress, whether the actor, or should I say actress, in the 30s and the 40s. He ain't nothing but an actor. Those who in the know, I used to watch a lot of old black and white movies with my moms. And Ronald Reagan was a real famous actor in the 30s and the 40s. Yes, Ronald Reagan, the actor, aka Red Robin, that's what they called him. Or the Red Baron, was an actor, came president/president. And when he got out of hand and tried to get uppity, because he didn't want George Bush Sr. as his running mate, they attempted an assassination on his bitch ass. Then he got back in line. And Ronald Reagan and George Bush was president and vice president of the United States Corporation from 1980 to 1988. And that's when George Bush Sr. came into power. From 1988 to 1992. He only did one term. Then Slick Willie came into power for 8 years, which is Slick Willie, aka William Jefferson Clinton. And then after William Jefferson Clinton, then Mad Dog Bush Jr. came into power. And then here we are to this day with Sleepy Joe in power. He ain't running nothing but his mouth. So all these, so what they doing, they're consulting behind closed doors on how they're going to do away and how they're going to bring our demise. But it's not going to happen, man. This is Job chapter, let me see real quick here. Slack it. Slack it, bear with me real quick, Akim. I lost my page, but I got it back. Oh, here we go. It says, because these devils, they think that they're going to rule forever. They think that nothing they could do, or the hypocrisy is not going to be checked, so to speak, for lack of better words. This is Job chapter 20, verse 4. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment? The triumphing of the wicked, which are you Edomites, it says, it says the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. Because you got a lot of Israelites that's hypocrites, but the main hypocrite is Esau, Edom. And you're going to pay for your hypocrisy and for your unjust, wicked ways. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach to the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. Obadiah 1 and 18, my man. That's your future. Obadiah 1 and 18. That's your future, my man. Lamentations 4 and 21. Have a good time, rejoice, do what you do. Because the end of you is Obadiah 1 verse 18. Are you comprehending what the scriptures are saying? Because that's your future. They'll be rounded up and burnt in the biggest bonfire ever. You like making bonfires, devil? You're going to be the biggest bonfire ever in the history of the world. Dig that. It says, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung, which they which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream, and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. You know, you're having a bad dream, and you wake up, that bad dream is over, and you realize it was just a dream. Being in servitude under this devil, when we wake up out of this madness, when the Lord delivers, it's going to be like a dream, a bad dream, a nightmare. But you, devil, your nightmares, ours going to end and yours going to begin. Our nightmare is ending and yours is about to begin. To dig that. Lamentations, once again, Lamentations 4 and 21. Have a good time. Rejoice. Do your thing. Because you're going to be Obadiah 1 and 18. Devil. It says, he shall fly. It says, he shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as a vision of the night. The eye also which saw him shall see him no more. Neither shall his place any more be. Neither shall his place any more behold him. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hands shall restore their goods. His bones are full of the sins of his youth, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue, though he spare it, and though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. This devil, man. That's why they secretly go into these retreats and contemplate wickedness upon the men of the Lord. Because he's a goddamn devil. And there's nothing good could come from this devil. It says, yet his meat, and let me jump down. I'm just going to jump down to 23, Job chapter 20, verse 23, for the sake of time. It says, when he is about to fill, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. When he got this new world order off the ground, where everybody is chipped, so like where everybody is karagmud, and he thinking that he got the whole world enslaved with his trickery and his sorceries, that's when the Lord's gonna rain fire and brimstone in this bitch ass. It says, he shall flee. He says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. These devils, they're gonna go into their outer space retreats. They're gonna go into their underground bunkers. They're gonna go into these deep underwater retreats that they have for themselves. They let them made for themselves, just to be destroyed, just to be taken. You're not going to escape the judgment of the Lord, man. So all your secret councils, all your Bilderberg meetings, all your Bohemian Grove meetings, it's not going to prosper. It's not going to benefit you in the end, because you're going to be taken out of your rulership real soon. It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. It is drawn and cometh out of the body, which are the nuclear silos. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him. All blackness shall be hid. It says, all darkness shall be hid in his secret places, and fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. Yeah, because he's going into slavery, pursuant to Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 14, when the Lord said, "I continue in employment." But it starts with the international bankers. Isaiah 24, verse 19 on down, where the Lord say he's going to sever continue in employment, which is going to punish the hosts of the highways that are on high, Salakia. It says all darkness shall be hid in the secret place, a fire not blown shall consume him, it shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle. That's your ass, Mr. Redman. That's your ass. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him. The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall be flown away. In the day of his wrath, and the day of his wrath, whose wrath? The Lord's. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Lord Yahweh, and their heritage appointed unto him by the Most High. End of story. Obadiah 1 and 18. Obadiah 1 and 18. That's your ass. So with that, it was a little bit of a quick lesson, giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. And salutation you, I came out there that push this word in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.